Rapper Podcast. It's your boy 210 along with Preme. What's good, bro?
Cooling, bro, cooling. Trying to stay out the way, nigga.
What's the temperature out there today?
Probably 113 again, I believe.
Yeah, nigga, I've been cooling. In the back of school, I've been schooling. Stupid.
Tell him.
Did I get it right?
Did I get it right? That shit.
Get it right.
No,
Can't
you always fuck my. You always
Can't
fuck
stay
my.
stagnant. I'm moving. Ooh.
What?
Drugs in my body got me grooving. No.
Drugs in my what?
Drugs in my body got me grooving. No,
That nigga's
I'm
dead.
off.
That nigga.
I feel like that's what you said when you was in the booth, nigga. Drugs in my body got me grooving.
That's what I did.
It felt like it. That's what it felt like. So, real quick, rest in peace to Bozeman. I know you know a lot more about the cat than I do. What kind of cancer was it again?
What did they say? It was not prostate cancer, colon cancer.
Oh, okay. Damn,
Colon cancer, yeah.
I didn't even think he was 40. I didn't think he was 43. I really don't know much about him though either. At the same time.
Yeah, he was 43. They said he's been fighting it for 4 years. It says that he was born in South Carolina. He passed out there in Los Angeles.
South Carolina, huh? Okay.
Yeah, South Carolina.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I know he played Jackie Robinson. I didn't see the movie, but shout out. Pasadena native, Mr. Jackie Robinson. Pasadena boy.
I can't remember if I saw that movie or not because it's like it's a few Jackie Robinson movies. I can't remember if I saw.
Yeah. I just seen like the previews and shit like that. Them kind of movies be hard for me to watch when they call you boy and shit, and the black guy is humble and shit. You know what I'm saying?
And just has to take
yes,
it.
Sir. Like I got my dignity. Like no sir.
Looks down.
No sir. Right. No sir. Then you go home and you take it all on your family and shit when you mad and shit. I can't watch them kind of movies. Can't watch them kind of movies. My dad used to be the same way.
I don't like this either.
Denzel had a movie called Glory. You ever see that shit? Glory? Denzel? Yeah, that shit. Them shits be hard to watch, nigga. Even The Color Purple was hard to watch, nigga.
I hated The Color Purple.
That shit kind of hard to watch, my nigga.
Man, I used to date a chick. Her mama used to love to watch goddamn Roots, nigga. Like that was her shit. She used to be like, "Casey, you want to watch Roots with me?"
You know what's funny? You bring up Roots. I was talking to. Actually, it was you. I think you said you hadn't seen it before. Dick Gregory said that we got to be crazy if we think Alex Haley wrote Roots.
Right. I was unfamiliar with that.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna find that link, and you know what? If we can, I'll find that clip and I'll add it to the end of the. Will we get flagged?
I don't know. Let's see.
Let's see, huh? All right, I'll find the clip and add it to the end of the show. But yeah, he said you got to be a fool to think that he wrote that. And he didn't write nothing else like that ever again. You know what I'm saying? And never wrote nothing like that before. He was like, "You think that he wrote that?" He said, "You think he wrote that script? Huh?
So what was he evading to? Like, who wrote it then?
He said the white folks gave him that script.
Okay, got you. I see.
Yeah, he's saying the white folks gave him that script. He said, "You think he wrote that script? Huh?" Like, it's a trip. I got lost in Dick Gregory last night. I was watching some of his shit. He was talking about Michael Jackson when he damn near saved Michael Jackson's life. See that one? He said when said Michael Jackson hadn't eaten or drinking anything for like 2 weeks because he was scared people was gonna poison him and shit, right? So they said, he had something for Dick Gregory to come. He said, you get there and Joe was like, man, he need to see you. He upstairs on the 3rd floor. Nobody go up to the 3rd floor, he said. But Michael went up there, he said when Michael grabbed him, it was like an animal grabbing him. They got all claws and shit. So he was like, you need to eat something and drink something. He said he wouldn't do it. So he said, we need to get you to the hospital. He's like, man, I can't go to the hospital, they're gonna kill me. So he told Michael he had a secret person. So they got in the car, took that nigga straight to Cedars-Sinai, right? Took him straight to Cedars-Sinai. He said the doctor was like, nigga, he said they had to give him fluids for 24 hours straight. That's how dehydrated he was. And the doctor said if he hadn't brought him in there, he would have died for sure. And it was all over that Beatles. He said when Michael Jackson got killed, and that's the verbiage he uses. He said it was the Beatles catalog was worth $45 million, and today it's worth $1.5 billion, and that was like 5 years ago.
Man.
So he said that's really what they wanted. Then he said the lords of so he said Michael Jackson had a 50 tour, a 50-day show in London, right? 50 show thing in London when he died, right?
Right. I remember that.
And they put insurance on him. The insurance was $3 billion. $3 billion. $2.5 billion, right? And he said, nigga, they killed him. They cashed out on that. And he said they cashed out and said that's what really happened. He said they know they couldn't do no 50 shows. You know, he wasn't even healthy enough to do no 50 shows. And he said that they tried to act like he had needle marks and shit like that. And he said that I forgot. He said a few things though. But Dick Gregory knew him personal, you know, and the you know how he'll jump down and interview his throat. You know how he is, right? So the interview was like, well, I thought that they said that he was trying to buy the. He said, listen to me, nigga. I know him, nigga. He said he already had the Beatles catalog.
I didn't ask what the fuck you thought.
I didn't ask what the fuck you thought, huh? You asked what I thought. Like, you know, he went crazy on that nigga, bro. So it's a trip, man. I can get black and black out on Dick Gregory for pause too. That shit can sound crazy, but I can black out on. I can listen to the man for a long period of time.
Dick Gregory be talking that shit. He be killing me when he be going hard on them interviewers. So I be feeling bad for him,
bro. You know, speaking of, you know, our prolific black men who we hardly have none left, I just saw a post that said Umar calls Tariq Nasheed gay. You see that?
No. This is recent.
He's on my shit right now, bro. He on my shit right now,
bruh.
I'm like, yeah, I'm like, this shit crazy. I'm like, he taking it down to like those extents to where that's the trip, bro. They doing name calling this shit.
Yo, he talked like a goddamn wrestler. I know you seen the clips where Umar be ranting, like, look, little light skinned nigga, when he was talking to that nigga Steady.
I fucked up and let the internet influence me on Dr. Umar, bro. I let the internet get the best of me with that shit, man. I know you know what I mean too.
Well, as far as what?
You know, the supposedly exposing of, you know, the school and shit. Oh yeah, I let the internet get the best of me.
I mean, you think that he has the school?
Well, let's talk about this. This is the Unaspiring Rapper Podcast, episode 107, Dr. Umar's school, yes or no? Was it FDIM, Frederick Douglass? Wait, where we at again with it?
It's FDMG.
G, yeah, Frederick Douglass,
FDMG,
Marcus Garvey
Academy.
Yeah. So, how much money did they say he's raised so far?
I don't know how much he's raised. I ain't look at that shit.
So when you ask, does he have a school? Yes, he has a school, a building. If that's what you're asking.
You think he owns that building?
Is your definition of a school like the facility or the curriculum and the things that go into it? When you ask a school, because you can have a school without having a building. You see what I'm saying? So what are you exactly asking me?
If he owns that property, or if he's purchased that property.
I don't know a lot of people that actually own their property. They're paying
it or is leasing it. If he has money towards that property.
Yes, I believe that. I do believe that.
Think he does?
But I don't know enough about the shit I haven't heard the new niggas come out the woodwork with the conspiracy theories.
Did I send you the video when he was outside?
I do want to see paperwork though. Yeah, that nigga was smoking a Black and Mild, nigga.
And the painted rock. Yeah. The red, black, and green rock. He said that was the rock of Marcus Garvey, or what do you say? And,
it was something like that, bro.
FDMG tree. The shit that was already there.
You think we can get Dr. Umar Johnson on our podcast? I don't know.
That nigga wants some bread.
Probably. You know, when I was doing 210 West Radio, I reached out to Tariq Nasheed and he was down to do it. And I forgot why we didn't end up doing it. Same thing with Kenyatta. he was agreed to do it, and I was shuffling my feet because I had a lot of shit going on at the time. But I'm gonna reach back out to those brothers to see if we can't get, especially Tariq Nasheed on this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure he got a lot to say. It'd be interesting, especially him being him being an unaspiring rapper himself, right? It would be perfect for him, no?
Yup.
You don't fuck with Tariq?
I don't want to talk to that motherfucker.
Why? he's too player like for
I don't
you,
give
or
a
what?
fuck about a Tariq.
You don't subscribe to it?
I appreciate the information in hidden colors.
That's all I'm talking about.
But that nigga, that's a, I don't know, man. There's something about that dude, man. He didn't rap.
You wouldn't trust him around your bitches, is what you saying? Nah. Fast talker.
I'd be completely comfortable with him around my Ain't no bitch I'm fucking with trying to hear that fake ass Mac shit.
Today's episode is sponsored by Bumbu Rum. If you haven't checked out the Bumbu, to me, it's my personal favorite alcohol to drink. So I know. Yeah,
please specify that you're talking about alcohol when you say that.
Nigga, what did I say? What? Bumbu.
Oh, Bumbu. That's right. That's what it's called.
What you think I said?
Let's proceed.
All right. Let's proceed, man. So Joe Budden podcast. Joe Budden is having issues with Spotify. What's your take on that? And we talked about this before too, because Breakfast Club spoke on his business the same way he spoke on Gilly the Kid's business. You know, I see how that shit work out. So now it's time to speak on this nigga business because now it's our turn. So,
right.
What's your opinion on that? What do you think? What do you think? You know, because we talked about that, like in the professional world, whether it be sports, business, music, entertainment, you can outgrow your original contract, right? It can happen overnight sometimes, or it can happen over the course of some shit. Like a nigga like the Baby is a nigga who would outgrown his contract, his original contract. So from what Joe Budden is saying, they hit all the analytics and shit, you know what I mean? Yada, yada, yada. You know, and he's saying they outgrowing the deal that he got is shitty. But, and I'm gonna let you go because I know you got know more about the shit than I do. What Joe has to understand, I think this is what Charlemagne the devil was saying, is that is Charlemagne the devil or Leonard, whichever you want to call him, but I ain't calling him no nigga. Yeah. Leonard, as Monique so eloquently, you know, let us know his name was
Monique's son. That nigga when you did that
with the Leonard, but it's like this. It's like you being signed to a major label, which he is in a sense, right? Yeah. They put you on there. When I go to my Spotify on my desktop, Joe Budden podcast as the banner. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So podcasts, like Joe Budden's right up there on top. Like he was their flagship artist, if you will. So obviously, I know what you're gonna say. I know he's gonna say that, you know, he was Joe Budden doing this shit before he got with them, but not on the scale of what I know. People who've heard his podcast literally just from Spotify recommendations, Spotify and shit like that. So, what's your take on that? And do you think he outgrew his contract? And do you think he needs to just wait it out, like Charlemagne was basically saying? I think.
Well, I didn't understand when he said wait it out because the contract is up. So that would be
sorry. It was Crooked Eye that he said told him that. Remember, he said Crooked Eye told him to wait it out. I don't know if you heard it. You don't know if you heard that podcast
on the podcast.
He said
I don't remember him saying that part.
Yeah, he said Crooked Eye told him to wait it out.
I remember him saying he wanted to wait out a contract because of the comments about the Shady Records shit. You know, from when they did that deal.
He's talking about this podcast.
Right. But he was making reference to Shady. Their deal is Shady, like, let's ride the contract out. And he said he kept hearing Crooked Eye's voice in reference to this current podcast. Okay. So I mean, if you don't feel like you being offered a deal that's worth your value that you know, and you got the numbers to back it up, I don't see why he wouldn't take his talents elsewhere, so to say. You know what I mean?
It
Why
was just
not?
one. It was just one thing he said that kind of made me like, He said, I was the one that had $2 to my name on the couch when it started. You know, he said something along those
What did he
lines,
say?
right?
They had two what?
He said, I was the one that only had $200 to my name on the couch when this started. He said something in that like sense. And I'm like, you're kind of proving their point a little bit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now you keep talking about you got bread and shit. Not only did they get you on there, it's just they opened up other avenues too. You know what I mean? Like in general. So I don't know. I don't know the podcast game, you know, as well as I do the music industry. And a lot of people may think they're one and the same, but they're absolutely not the same thing at all.